Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. I woke up like this, deep divers, all magical and fly, just, whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now. Hadouken, take all of that good ass energy I'm sending you. You feel so much better now. Look, a big shout out to everyone who's joined the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/RalphSmart. Click the link down below, deep divers, and be inspired. Do you believe in UFOs, deep divers? Do you believe there are aliens out there somewhere in the distant universe? Do you believe that extraterrestrial life is somewhere else and we don't know about it? Well, a lot of people are starting to raise their eyelids. Okay, so yesterday, this is breaking news. A former Pentagon officer went on Fox News and said that we are beyond reasonable doubt that we are not alone. That Earth has been visited by extraterrestrials, deep divers. Woo! Every one of my videos is designed to help you become your greatest version. And this video is going to blow your mind. I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support the real. Share this video with someone. Once again, hit that like button right now, deep divers, if you support the real, and share this video because we got a whole lot to talk about. Look, if you are watching this video, this is your confirmation. Your blessings are about to grow and increase 100-fold. If you're ready to receive that and accept that, just thank the cat down the road. That's good. Okay, look, deep divers, have you heard of Breakthrough Listen? Have you heard of that? Breakthrough Listen. Well, you see, this is $100 million project. $100 million project in Oxford. And they are looking for extraterrestrial life. Now, this is where it gets really awesome. There is a NASA filmmaker. He's worked for the BBC, NASA, all of these people. And Simon Holland has come out saying that within the next month, they're going to reveal that actually we've made contact with extraterrestrial life. This is huge, deep divers. It's huge. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Part of becoming our greatest version is to remind ourselves, what the bleep do we know? And there is so much we haven't been told about this universe. And when I saw this, former Pentagon officer, we are not alone, it really blew my mind. Let me play it for you, deep divers.
Americans have been making contact with UFOs before there even was an America. In 1639, three prominent Puritans living in Boston were rowboating in a swamp and noticed a glowing green light in the sky. The light came from above, then settled on the shoreline and turned into the strangest thing. One witness described the being like this. When it ran, it was fast as an arrow and contracted into a figure of a swine, calling out in a most dreadful manner, "Boy, boy, come away, come away." And then, like an apparition, it was gone. We've been hearing spooky stories like this for the last 400 years, making headlines and piquing interest in fringe communities. And most kind of write it off as nonsense, like former senior Pentagon official like Luis Elizondo. He didn't think UFOs were real. But that all changed when he was tapped to join an elite aerospace counterintelligence team where he saw things he couldn't believe.
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
In his role in the Aerospace Threat Identification Program, Elizondo says he received droves of reports from the Navy that UFOs were bobbing and weaving through their tight plane formations, zooming around during the drills. He says, quote, they were also performing in ways that far exceeded our technological capabilities. If an adversary like Russia or China had this technology, it would represent a quantum leap beyond anything we have. During his time in the program, Elizondo says he learned about an ultra-secret government legacy program that possesses UFO materials of a non-human origin. What does that mean? And why doesn't the government come clean about what they know? Are we alone in this universe or not? Author of the new book, Imminent, Luis Elizondo himself joins me now. So
Thank you very much.
Of course, welcome to Jesse Waters Primetime. People always say, well, what proof do you have? And what would you say?
Sure. Well, it's not what proof I have. It's what proof the United States government has and has had for quite some time. I think people would be shocked to know that the U.S. government has had many UFO or UAP, now we call them, programs in the past and continue to have. And it's only been recently, I think, because of the veil of stigma and taboo is beginning to decrease, that elements within the U.S. government are now actually coming forward and having the conversation with Congress, with the executive branch, and the American people.
What do we know about the aliens? We all have seen the images of what look like drones or UFOs, whatever. But what about the little green guys? What do we know about those guys?
Sure. Well, what our focus was primarily, mine was on the nuts and bolts of vehicles that were performing in ways that could, frankly, outperform anything that we had in our inventory at the time, and frankly, that we have right now. We're talking about vehicles, as you saw there in the video, that are leaps and bounds ahead of the very, very best capabilities we have, and we're pretty sure adversarial capabilities, and they're being encountered over controlled U.S. airspace and over sensitive military installations, and it appears they may even have the ability to affect our nuclear capabilities. Ooh. And so from a national security perspective, this isn't grandma seeing some lights in the backyard. These are trained F-18 fighter pilots. Everybody sees the movie Top Gun. These are real Top Gun pilots that can distinguish the difference between an Su-22, a MiG-25, and an F-16 from 10 miles away. And by the way, make a split-second decision, do I shoot it down? And oh, by the way, that's also being backed up by gun camera footage and forward-looking infrared and other electro-optical data systems, collection systems, and radar systems. So my old job as a former special agent, if all this information, you've got the same information being reported at the same time, under the same circumstances, at the same place, by several different collection capabilities, we'd have no choice but the jury would have to convict. We're well beyond reasonable doubt.
All right. Well, hopefully we're capturing these suckers, reverse engineering them, and then using them against our enemies. That's what I would do. But we'll see what we end up doing in reality. Thank you so much. Everybody go check the book out. Imminent. It's going to be
my honor and privilege. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
Ooh, right? The full disclosure is coming. You're going to start to hear, you're going to start to see the government saying, actually, we have made contact with extraterrestrial life. And you see, whether you believe it or not, that we are alone or we're not alone, 2001 Space Odyssey was written by Arthur C. Clarke. He had something very fascinating to say. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Right? So, Bob Lazar. Have you heard of Bob Lazar, deep divers? He was one of the first whistleblowers to say, actually, there are these UFOs, these UAPs. And this was back in 1989. Let me play you this. This is going to blow your mind.
30 years ago today, KLAS aired a live interview with an anonymous man who made some really astonishing claims. He alleged that the U.S. military was secretly studying alien technology out in the Nevada desert near a base that is now very well known all over the world, Area 51.
A lot has changed in the decades since Bob Lazar first told this wild story. The Pentagon recently admitted that it really has been secretly studying UFOs, and then it wanted to figure out and duplicate that technology.
George Knapp looks back at that 1989 interview that started a whole new conversation.
It's totally impossible. The propulsion system is a gravity propulsion system. The power source is an antimatter reactor. This technology does not exist at all.
The claim sounded like Hollywood sci-fi. Months later, when his identity was revealed, Bob Lazar said he worked at a secret facility near Groom Lake, where alien technology was being reverse engineered, that is, taken apart to figure out how it worked and whether the Pentagon could duplicate it. This is the simple drawing he made at the time.
Here now, I had access and was permitted to view and look at the operation of this main level with the gravity amplifiers and the level below.
The premise seems less preposterous now. In a new documentary about Lazar, he describes in detail the spacecraft he worked on 30 years ago.
The craft that I worked on, that when it's going to travel a long distance, that is how it operates. It flies along and it puts its belly to the target and then brings all the amplifiers to power, and it shoots off in that direction. It doesn't fly as it would in the science fiction movies. It flies with the belly, the bottom forward.
If the description of a spacecraft tilting sounds familiar, take a look at the so-called gimbal UFO, a video released by the Pentagon in 2017. Naval pilots encountered a fleet of these unknown craft off the coast of Florida in 2015 and have since had dozens of similar encounters. The spike in UFO incidents prompted a recent policy change by the Navy, which announced it wants to encourage its pilots to report future incidents. Pentagon officials reluctantly admitted to the New York Times 17 months ago that the military has secretly studied UFO incidents, in part so it might figure out the technology.
In the gimbal video, there's a mechanistic turn against the wind without deceleration. So we have a craft without rotors, without heat signatures, without plumes, without tail fins, and certainly no tail number, moving in a way that is counterintuitive to our own aeronautics. When Bob saw that, he came to the conclusion this has to be a gravity-propelled craft.
It's rotating.
That it does mimic exactly the propulsion system that Bob Lazar described.
The story is extraordinary.
Jeremy Corbell directed the Lazar documentary, but he also broke the story about another now famous UFO incident, the 2004 Tic Tac encounter. The Navy pilot who engaged the Tic Tac, Black Aces commander Dave Fravor, has said he doesn't believe the astonishing craft was made on Earth, that the propulsion might be anti-gravity. When Lazar was shown the Tic Tac video for the first time, it immediately reminded him of the Sport model, his name for the craft stashed in the desert.
There's no question in my mind. I mean, I'm virtually certain that's the way the craft operated, and that uses close to or the exact same propulsion system.
Former Pentagon intelligence officer Lou Elizondo was in charge of ATIP, the secret Pentagon study. He told us one goal of the project was to determine the physics of UFOs, how they can achieve the seemingly impossible. The military came to believe the craft relied on special metamaterials, stuff that can't be made with known technology. Lazar made similar claims decades ago and was ridiculed. Now the Pentagon is on the same page.
Where the study of UFOs did not end in 1969 with Project Blue Book. In fact, that was a lie, and it is now an admitted lie by our own Pentagon. We are living in a world where it is understood that there are craft technologically advanced from unknown origin that are performing maneuvers that far exceed anything of human technology. This has been going on a long time, and our government has been studying it.
George Knapp, 8 News Now.
So get ready for the full disclosure. You have pilots all around the world who are seeing these objects, which seem to be amazing. Like, we can't create them. Unknown origin. And once again, Simon Holland has come out saying that within the next month, coinciding with the election, they're going to reveal that actually they've made contact with extraterrestrial life. Once again, why do they have a project, $100 million project, Breakthrough Listen? There's a race between the US, China, Russia to make contact with extraterrestrial life and to use their technology. So it's time to wake up. We are not alone. We are not alone. And how can this help us become our greatest version? True wisdom. This is what Confucius said. True wisdom is to know the full extent of one's own ignorance. There are so many people who think in this whole universe, it's just us and the cat down the road. No, deep divers, what's helped me is to free my mind to realize that actually life is everywhere. And there's so much we don't know about this universe. There's so much we don't know about human history, because history means his story. It's not yours. Slow motion this side. Ancient Egypt. They still don't know how they built the pyramids, deep divers. Hello. 2.3 million blocks of stone. They still don't know how they built the pyramids. Oh, they were slaves. No, they weren't slaves, deep divers. They were an extremely advanced civilization. So when you remind yourself that actually there's a lost chapter of human history, and once we come to know it, that actually we've never been alone, that can actually free our minds out of this program of the Matrix, and we can become super powerful. It's exciting, deep divers. Look, Graham Hancock, shout out to Graham Hancock. He said something very fascinating about the Great Pyramid of Giza.
The great precision, great skill, great craft. Some people will say to you, oh, the Great Pyramid was built by slaves. That is utter bullshit. No slaves were ever involved in the construction of the Great Pyramid. As far as I know, there were no slaves in Old Kingdom Egypt whatsoever. The Great Pyramid, I've climbed it 5 times. I've been in every known chamber in the Great Pyramid. It is a work of stunning artistic achievement. You're looking at the work of masters of architecture at the peak of their skill, not an unwilling labor force, but people who gave their labor to that work with love and with care and with attention. There are blocks of stone weighing 70 tons that have been raised more than 300 feet above the ground. And we're not talking a couple of blocks, we're talking dozens of blocks of that weight. The average block weighs about 2.5 tons. It's the moving of those huge blocks of stone, their arrangement into a high precision monument, and the achievement of actually doing it, because you know, if you make a small mistake at the base, by the time you get to the summit of your 481 foot high pyramid, you don't have a pyramid, you have a corkscrew. You know, they got it all right, and nobody today can explain how they did it with the knowledge that is supposed to have been available in ancient Egypt, in the Old Kingdom, and with the tools that are supposed to have been available. And that's why I can't help feeling that we are missing some chapter from the human story.
That's fascinating. That's fascinating. And that's why I say in my own hypothesis, when you go back in time, deep divers, back in history, it appears that they were more advanced than we are today. An example with the Great Pyramid of Giza. And some people say it's because they had contact with an advanced life form who gave them technology we don't have now. And that's the reason why there's a great race to find this technology, to make contact. That's the reason why they have hundreds of millions invested into projects looking for extraterrestrial life. And that's the reason why many Pentagon officers, former Pentagon officers, say actually the governments all around the world know that we are not alone. And they've actually kept it hidden from the masses. So it's a fascinating time we're living in. Get ready for the full disclosure. You see, a lot of people realize that even in ancient Sumeria, they had hidden knowledge. They were highly advanced. And the Sumerian gods, or the Anunnaki, many of them believed they actually created human beings as we know them today. So we're living in very fascinating times. And you might see this in a city near you very soon, deep divers. Pay attention to what Simon Holland is saying. NASA filmmaker, very fascinating things happening on the planet. Get ready for the full disclosure by next month. Deep divers, if you are ready for the truth to set you free that we are not alone, I want all of you right now to hit that like button if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share this video, subscribe to the channel. And that's why I'm just saying, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Make sure you join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart. Click the link down below, deep divers, and be inspired. And check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/thebook, the Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version, and the latest new book, The Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/thebook, the secret recipe to becoming your greatest version. And go and get the good ass prana shirts, deep divers. For men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And if you're a sexy ass model, woo, with a whole lot of heart, who loves aliens and UFOs, you want to model the clothing? Well, go and buy some. And if you want a one-to-one consultation with me, deep diver, so I can help you become your greatest version personally, make sure you book your session at ralphsmart.com/one-to-one sessions. Deep divers, they tried to bury us. They forgot we were seeds. Right now, the truth is coming out. We are not alone. Get ready for it. The cat down the road is so ready for it right now, right? Let's go. Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support The Real. And leave a comment down below of gratitude and appreciation. And let me know how this video inspired you. And let me know if you think we're alone or not. One love, deep divers. Peace.